Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. After a long gap, I came up with a new concept that is Node.js. So, before knowing about Node.js and know what's the purpose of learning it. So, to become a full stack developer, we need to have a grip on MERN stack. What is MERN stack? Where M stands for MongoDB, E stands for Express.js, R for React.js, and N for Node.js. And this is also known as JS stack. Having grip on all these four elements, we can easily develop full stack website. So first, let's know the flow of the full stack. Here, from the front end, when the client requests a query to the server, then the server gives the command to the database to search for the requirement of the client. So then the database gives the response to the server and the server returns the response to the client. This is how the flow of the full stack goes on. In the front end, we use a few language skills like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and React.js, which is one of the MERN stack. And on the server side, we use Node.js by using Express.js framework, and other framework is Spring Boot. We develop it using Java, and the other thing is Django, which we use Python there. Coming to database, we use MongoDB, SQLite, or MySQL. This is the few skills or languages we use in the full stack. And now let's know what's the importance of Node.js. In the name, you can observe that we have JS. So this JavaScript is used in both front end and back end development. It is a JS environment that executes JS code outside the web browser. Usually, in the front end part, the JavaScript is used internally, but here, in the Node.js, from the outside, we can even extract the required date tables or data or to develop the application. What's the reason to use Node.js? And it is because it has cross-platform feature. Means we can use it in any platform, which means in any system, in any OS. And it has huge number of third-party packages, which increases the reusability of the code. Other important thing is it has open source feature, which contributes many a massive community. Now, to run Node.js, we have two types. Either we can run it by Node REPL, that is, R stands for read, eval, print, loop. It is nothing but how we usually inspect, and when we are using JavaScript, we inspect the website, then a console opens, right? Inspected console opens. Either you can run this in that console tab by typing node and perform other functions, as in the VS Code itself and the terminal directly you can run this Node.js. This terminal is known as Node CLI, means Node Command Line Interface. The most important thing while running node index.js files, we need to save each time when we update code. Because like you have made few changes in the code and you haven't saved it, and you have executed node index.js in the terminal, then what happens is the changes won't get reflected in the output. So to make the changes reflected in the output, you need to save the code each time when you update it. In Node.js, we have two types of import and export commands. Let's know what are they and what we need to prefer to run this Node.js. Usually, anything that we define in our module remains limited to that module itself. And to use that component in other files, we need to export that component in the existing file. First, let's know about the common JS. So in the common JS, to export a single function, you need to write, let's take in the index.js file, we have an add function. To export it, we need to write module.exports equal to add. And to import it into the other file, like let's say example app.js file, you need to write const add equal to require of x. This is the path of this file. So without exporting this in the from the index file, we can't run in the app.js file, because in the app.js file this add function is undefined. Once we imported it from the index.js file, then only the reference gets added to the app.js file and we can perform it. If we have multiple functions, we need to in this common JS syntax, we need to write for exporting export dot add this the function name equal to add, and export dot sub equal to sub. For importing, either you can initially you can destructure it like by using add comma sub and require, or you can write initialize another object like calculate and get the exported elements to the calculate, and later you can destructure it and use it as similar to the previous import. Like add of 3 comma 6, you can write it same here, and sub of 3 comma 6. That is similar to how we use these functions in the ESX module. Here in the common JS, we know it's not mandatory to write the extension .js, but in the ESX module, the extension of it is .mjs. Like every ESX module in Node.js should be named with .mjs extension. So here to export the single function, we write export default add, and while importing, we write import add from dot slash index.mjs. This is mandatory here, and it suggests we use the function. Here for exporting multiple functions, preceding to that function, we need to write export. So just we label any before declaring any function, we just place export before it, and its import is similar, just destructuring from the index.mjx file. From before, I'm saying about these third party packages, right? Like what are these third party packages and why we need to learn about it? Usually these are developed by Node.js developers, and they're made available to the Node.js ecosystem. Here we have a manager, that is npm, that is Node Package Manager. It is available in the link, that is HTML. Here you can see https colon slash slash www.npmjs.com. So here 1 million packages were available, and npm company provides a command line tool as well, which allows us to publish, discover, install, and develop many node programs. So to install the packages, the syntax is npm space install space the package name what you want to install space minus minus save in the terminal. Else to install globally like multiple packages at a time, you can in the package.json file in the dependencies object, you can list all the packages, and then by directly writing npm space install, you can install all the dependencies at once. So as discussed in Node.js, we use Express.js framework. Uh, as discussed earlier, to install a single package, we use this syntax. Here I have used CommonJS syntax. Even most of the developers prefer CommonJS syntax because Express this ESX module syntax is still in the development phase. So this is just importing that from the Express package. We just imported that Express, and then here I have initial by writing const app equal to express of, I have initialized, I have created an instance of the Express here. And once you write app.listen of 3000, the server starts and listen to the 3000 for all the connections. By exporting it, like by using module.exports equal to app, like exporting the app, you can use this app in the other files as well. So I came to end of the video now. So in my next video, I'm gonna say about how to handle HTTP requests like get, post, put, delete with an example. If you like my video, please do like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.